Hello, I'm Oscar, taking you through stories people are talking about and sharing around the world. On NewsFeed today, fashion faux pas or carefully crafted statement? Melania Trump takes flak for this jacket. So hot right now, why these selfies have Hawaiian police hot and bothered. A win for female football fans in Iran despite their team's World Cup loss. And it's the game gripping the globe, but what do you actually know about Fortnite? Top of our news feed, she's been credited with helping her husband change his mind on separating migrant children from their parents, but Melania Trump's latest show of support for the kids has been overshadowed by her latest sartorial choice. Take a look. The First Lady is taking flak for this jacket that she wore on a trip to a detention centre for migrant children in Texas. There on the back, in big bold letters, "I really don't care, do you?" It's apparently from Zara. She'd already taken it off when she met dozens of migrant children who crossed the border. Some were separated from their parents as part of Donald Trump's zero-tolerance policy on illegal immigration.
Good morning, everybody.
Well, as you can imagine, it's caused a meltdown on social. Steve Redmond tweeted, "Melania Trump launches her husband's new slogan for the 2020 election campaign. Somebody please take the matches away from these people." Schoolie photoshopped the jacket's words onto an executive order being paraded by the US president. And Maris Kreisman was more surprised about the label, tweeting, "Entirely not the point, but the First Lady shops at Zara." And Donald Trump, for his part, took to Twitter to say the slogan refers to the fake news media. Melania has learned how dishonest they are, and she truly no longer cares. Meanwhile, Time magazine's not messing around with its latest cover, which has gone viral on social overnight. It shows Trump facing a 2-year-old Honduran girl who was photographed crying out for her mum. Here's the original, taken by a Pulitzer Prize-winning photographer. The powerful image has become the most visible symbol of the US immigration debate. The girl's father says mother and daughter are now together in a shelter, doing well. Well, let's have a look now at what else is trending on social. And Kim and Kanye were among the front row guests at Virgil Abloh's debut menswear collection for French luxury label Louis Vuitton. Virgil is the first black man to head up a French luxury brand, and he made a point of casting a large number of black models for the show. In the press kit, he even included details of where the models were from and their parents' ancestry. And police in Hawaii are cracking down on crazy Instagrammers who have been heading to lava flows around Kilauea volcano. They've arrested or fined some of them for the risky shots. They're now hiking the penalty to $5,000 and up to a year behind bars. Crazy stuff. Well, let's go to Russia now for a bit of World Cup news. And some Mexican fans have been getting a bit of attention for taking a cardboard cutout of their mate everywhere they go. Javier's wife didn't let him go to the World Cup with his mates, so they brought along a 2D printout. It's become a bit of a hit with other fans at the tournament. Poor Javier, I guess it's almost like being there. Well, Iran may have lost against Spain at the World Cup, but there was a big win for their female fans in Tehran. Check this out. In another win for equality in the region, after 7 years of campaigning, women in Saudi Arabia are counting down the days until they're allowed to do something the rest of us take for granted. Take a look at this.
So the first thing I want to do, first time behind the wheel in Saudi, is to take my family for a ride so we can celebrate this moment.
I would like to go to my mother's house and take her on a ride. This is my first plan, actually, and I would like really to enjoy it with my mother, just me and my mother without anyone.
I've also seen myself in a convertible car, but with this weather, it's not so convenient. So I'll do my research.
There are just 2 days to go until millions of people cast their votes in Turkey's parliamentary and presidential elections. Here's Tamina to explain how it all works.
Elections are colourful in Turkey, and this is how they work. The main body that oversees the whole process is the Supreme Election Council. Since the 1960s, its main responsibility has been to ensure that elections take place under fair, transparent and equal conditions. When the election calendar is set, candidates for both presidential and parliamentary elections are evaluated by the Supreme Election Council. Once approved, campaigning begins. Now to the voting process. All eligible voters receive a letter in the mail detailing where they'll cast their vote, depending on their registered address. Most times, schools are allocated as voting stations. And in this election, voters in some rural areas will cast their votes in city centres. 144,000 voters in 19 districts will be affected by this decision.
This measure is a measure for ensuring the electoral security, because in southeast of Turkey, PKK, a terrorist organization, is in operation. In previous elections in the region especially, we have experienced that PKK has threatened and put pressure on the voters to vote for the HDP, therefore intervening into and preventing the free elections.
There are an estimated 180,000 ballot boxes across Turkey and 3,160 overseas. For each ballot, a ballot box committee is established. They're made up of a group of 6 people, 1 civil servant, 1 supervisor and 4 representatives from each of the main parties. This committee monitors the voting procedure and makes sure that everything runs smoothly. On election day, voters show up at the voting venue, show the poll observers their ID, and both the voter and the observer sign for attendance. This way, the same person cannot vote twice or vote for somebody else. Voters are expected to stamp their choice of presidential and parliamentary candidates. Envelopes are then sealed and placed inside the clear ballot box, sitting in front of the observers. 9 hours later, the counting begins.
Counting of the votes is made by the president of ballot box committee with the involvement, observance and control of the committee members. So the political parties with their members are involved in every stage of the elections in Turkey.
The ballot box committee counts and records the number of used and unused ballots. Invalid votes are recorded and then discarded. All valid votes are tallied, then put in a sack, which is sealed and sent with a supervisor and police escort to the headquarters. The tallies are checked and inputted into a system called the SEC-SIS. This is where pre-selected media and political parties can access the unofficial results. Voters follow the results, and once finalised, the Supreme Election Council makes an official announcement of the winner. If any disagreements arise regarding the vote count, candidates and their deputies can object to the results and take it up with Turkey's election councils in the following order. They look into the case and announce a final verdict.
Let's go around the world now for some other stories you need to know this Friday. And hundreds of people in the US city of Pittsburgh have blocked a highway during a large protest over the fatal police shooting of an unarmed teenager. 17-year-old Antoine Rose Jr. was shot and killed by an officer Tuesday as he fled a traffic stop. It's the latest in a string of fatal police shootings targeting black men across the US. There have been protests across Spain after 5 men convicted of sexually assaulting a teenager at Pamplona's famous bull running festival were released on bail ahead of an appeal. The men belonged to a WhatsApp group called the Wolf Pack and shared video of the attack. The case has sparked outrage from women's groups across the country. The US network ABC is rebooting the rebooted Roseanne sitcom barely a month after the show was cancelled following some racist tweets from its creator and lead actor Roseanne Barr. The new show, called The Connors, has all the same writers, producers and cast members, everyone except for Roseanne. And make way for DJ Macron. Well, not quite, but the French president and his wife Brigitte did open up the presidential palace to more than 1,000 electronic music fans for a free concert for France's annual music day. And to make sure things didn't get too messy, alcohol-free beer was the only drink of choice. Well, earlier this week we talked about how the World Health Organization officially classified gaming addiction as a mental health condition. One game that's got millions hooked is Fortnite. Well, I don't know much about it myself, so this will be pretty helpful for us both. And for Friday's Animals Doing Stuff, it's #TakeYourDogToWork Day. Sadly, I don't have a dog myself, but here are some videos that people have been sharing of their four-legged friends at work. Enjoy. Well, that's all from the NewsFeed team. Reach out to me with all of your questions, comments, complaints and suggestions at Oscar Subakti. You'll find us 24/7 on Twitter, YouTube and Facebook. Follow, subscribe and add. See you tomorrow.